The Kingdom of Proudmore, more commonly known as Proudmoore, is a country in the center of the Great Sea, with significant territories across the world. It comprises Proudmoore Island, Alcartea, Kingsfair, Cape Cole, Northshire, Block Mesa, and numerous outlying possessions and dependent states, such as the Birdcage or Block Tanica. The capital of Proudmoore is Proudmoore Island, the oldest settlement in Trapland, and where we'll be beginning our tour today. Proudmoore Island has been inhabited continuously since the inception of Trapland. In 2019, Fettuccine Alfredo, Casno, and Edge McMemerson inhabited and developed the island. The waves of emigration from Proudmoore resulted in the establishment of Sheephoof, Blockistan, and the Birdcage. Over time, the state of Proudmoore formalized and grew in power, and by 2021, Proudmoore had control over most of the key infrastructure across all of Trapland, including key railways, the Proudmoore Court of Justice, and the Resource Exchange. Proudmoore was one of the first industrialized countries, and has been a leading power since its inception, particularly in the early times of Trapland. Proudmoore is also typically the lead economic power of the world, a position supported by its vast wealth reserves, its role as a dominant trading nation, significant industrial capacity, and the status of Kingsfair as the world's principal financial center. Proudmoore is the world's largest nation, with many territories belonging both to itself and its dependencies, like the aforementioned Dominion of Block Tanica and the Birdcage. And with that introduction out of the way, I thought there would be no better place to start than Spawn Block itself, the first place where every member of Trapland opened their QB eyes and looked into this vast world for the first time. And welcome to the Kingdom of Proudmoore. As we walk up this way, we'll see some stables here that house some of King Alfredo's horses. I would love to go into their significance now and why they're so important, but I think I'll save that for a separate video on the mobs of Trapland. Walking up here is the entrance to King Alfredo's house, but I think we'll come back to that later. As we go around the docks, if we look out into the ocean, we can see things like the Kingdom of Sheephoof and its castle up there. We can see some of Blockistan's ocean huts. We can even go over here and see the entirety of the cage. These villager houses, I believe, are some of the oldest, if not the oldest buildings here on Proudmoore Island. I'll be honest, I don't know how old the specific villagers that live here are, and if they're as old as the homes themselves, but I do know that these houses are pretty dang old. Right across from these are the docks where you can leave into the Great Sea and go anywhere in Trapland your heart desires. We have a few of King Alfredo's ships docked here. We also have one that's leaving the docks, it seems, and if you explore the Great Sea, you're bound to come across multiple other of King Alfredo's ships, like the HMS Pomodoro, the HMS Pesto, the HMS Ravioli, the HMS Linguini, the HMS Primavera, or multiple other pasta-themed ships. We have the merman statue right there, and then we come up upon the village square where all the villagers like to congregate. Some nice little market stalls here. Man, I got to admit, vibrant visuals really add so much to this, especially with all these shadows. Little area for the villagers to do their work. And this is the entrance to the sewers, but we'll come back to that in just a little bit. Down here in this little passage, things aren't really complete, but it seems like there's going to be more villager housing or maybe some shops down here. Either way, I like how it looks. Coming up these stairs, we enter what is known as the Cloud District. Yes, this is a reference to Skyrim. And this is also where me and Sultan Edge McMemerson have homes on Proudmoore. This right here is my home. We go in here. See, it's a nice little cozy area. I have a bed. I have a trap door right there we'll get into in just a moment. And some ancient items of mine in this chest. Up here on the wall, King Alfredo does require that we have our title displayed so he knows that we own this. Here's this if you wanted to read that. I'm not going to read it for you here. We can leave this and go across the street to Edge McMemerson's house and see what that looks like. He has his title right there, it seems. He also has a trapdoor. I wonder what that's about. We'll see that in just a minute. Hail Chadmetheus. Oh, that's cute. I think these are supposed to look like drawers. We keep going up the Cloud District, and we come right here to the Church of Proudmoore, the Orthodox Church of the Rite of Proudmoore. Very beautiful, tiny church. Up the ladder, we can meet Bishop Herbert right up here. This is where he seems to live. And as we keep going, we pass a few graves, like Daba D right here, a parrot that died pretty recently that was alive for a very long time. A few other villagers over here that were alive for quite a while. And if we go down here, we find more graves of mobs who were significant to us throughout Trapland's history who had fallen. I'm not going to get into detail about who these are, about why they're significant or anything. Like I mentioned with the horses earlier, I think I'm going to save all that for another day in another video. As we come back out and pass by my houses, we can turn left out of the Cloud District. Down here we have a very beautiful well. We also have Pepe, the guardian of the light. Without him, I don't know what we would do. Take a little peek inside the well. Something tells me we might be coming back to here in just a moment. As we come around the outer edge of Proudmoore, you can see a lot more bees have been popping up. That's because over here is the Proudmoore Apiary. This was built all the way back whenever bees were first introduced, and once housed our legendary bee, Barry B. Benson. Which in fact, if we come right over here, is where his birthing spot was. This is where the legendary Barry B. Benson was born. And look at that! The Hive of St. Barry. There it is. Almost 6 years ago now. Where are you, Barry? Come home to us. Oh man, the cage and the reflection and all of the underwater stuff looks so cool from here. Very cool design with the water and sand and sandstone here. Very creative. And then as we exit the apiary and come back around the edge of the island, we see some farmers doing their work over here on the farmlands, and that wraps us right back around to where the spawn block is, where we started. Now I want to come back up here and we'll look inside of King Alfredo's home and what that looks like. Oh man, the light from Vibrant Visuals is really something else. Am I the only one just now realizing because of Vibrant Visuals that this is an Eye of Ender on the front of the Ender chest? Has that always been there? Anyways, here is the main room of King Alfredo's home. We see a lot of significant items on the wall, whether they have significance from over the years, or they're glitches that we've obtained somehow, or really old tools or things like that. Over here he has the trophies for first place for 2 of the Olympics. An old Proudmore banner here and a few others right here. I would also like to make a separate video about just legendary items in Trapland and why some of these have so much significance to us. Over here we have a beautiful dragon head with glowing eyes. These portal blocks we obtained through a glitch a long time ago. I don't know if that glitch is still around, if you can do that anymore. I don't think it's actually possible to get the nether portal blocks or these bubble column blocks anymore. But we got them while we could. As we go down the stairs, we come to King Alfredo's little museum. Down here, separated by different nations and things, he has significant items throughout the history of Trapland. All of these will definitely be explained in my video about legendary items in Trapland and why they mean so much to us. But for right now, it's nice just to take a little peek. If you're wondering about King Alfredo's storage area, that's just right in here, hidden behind a painting. We could come down here. There's nothing too significant about this area other than it has a really nice aquarium below and a nice big map of Trapland on the wall. King Alfredo also does have a big auto sorter machine right here that I also eventually ended up building in my home. He sorts items here and then puts them into all these different chests down here. If we keep going down the stairs, there's actually a little Proudmore wine cellar down here. Harkonnen Imports, Communion Honey, Chateau Mont Blanc, stuff from St. Ungor Bakery. Ah, yes! The Communion Bread. Bloctanica Treats. Oh, nice. Blockistan Delicacies. Nice. Blockistani Beef, Bread of Blockistan. Albuquerque Breadsticks. I remember these. I don't know why there's a skull in the wine cellar, but you know, go off, King, go off. If we were to go any further down, we would be in the Proudmore sewers, but I actually want to enter from the main way. So let's go back up. We can also go upstairs in this house. And here we have the bedroom of King Alfredo. And yes, if you're curious, yes, King Alfredo does sleep with a live polar bear. Don't ask me, man. This guy is crazy. And also an ocelot. Sir Bloxalot, excuse me. Let me call him by his proper name. You can see this nice map on the wall that has Proudmore Island, a couple other surrounding territories. All of these cakes were put here on his birthday, either this year or last year, I forget. Going up one more level seems to be a nice little reading area for the king, with a few books about Proudmore history. And then there's a ladder that leads up to the roof of the building. And this is where his beacon is. Proudmore Island may be little, but it is filled to the brim. I don't think there's a single block on Proudmore Island that the king himself did not alter in some way. That's why when people ask so often, show us the first thing built in Trapland, where's that at? Well, it was once here, but destroyed long ago, much like a lot of other very early things in Trapland. Ow. Thought I had my elytra on. And then here we are at the sewers. As we go down here, we see that there's a nice bridge that leads across to the nether portal of Proudmore. We'll definitely visit what's inside the nether another day for a separate video, but I thought this is a nice place to look at. And as we look around, this is what the sewers look like. We come down here, and I think this is a very beautiful little area. Looks like we're getting some weird lighting effects thanks to vibrant visuals over there, but I wouldn't worry about that. The water does look very nice down here. I also like looking through the water at things. Oh, I guess not banners, though. Mojang, fix your game. Right here is where Proudmore connects to the railway, so you can step on right here and go to anywhere across all 25,000 blocks of our railway network. Here's Proudmore's mailbox where he gets some mail. And we can walk around a little bit. If you want to get back up into his home, you can actually get up right through here. And my favorite part is, it's a sewer. What does a sewer do? It provides access for the plumbing of someone's house to escape their home. Maybe not with those exact words, but what I mean by that is we can travel up through this this pipe right here and actually go up and enter my home through that little trap door. And we can exit from here, go into Connor's house, and I could be like, hey man, I'm gonna use your toilet for a second. Psych, see you later, and re-enter the sewers from Connor's home too. I can actually leave the sewers from Connor's home and actually enter my home from there. I never have to step a foot outside my house to get over to Connor's house. And then if we go back through here towards the direction Connor's was, I believe we can keep going around this area. And if we swim down here, yes, we go through this little hole. And where does this lead, you think? Oh, we're up at the well where Pepe, the Guardian of the Light, is. Good job looking out for us, buddy. I bet if we were to drown, he would have helped us. And then let's travel by boat right across the water over here. And this is the last thing I want to show you of Proudmore Island. This is the CubeVid quarantine camp. During the year of 2020, if anyone in our world got CubeVid, any of the... This right here is the CubeVid quarantine camp. During the harsh year of 2020, if any villagers or players came under the weather with CubeVid-19, they were put here until they were no longer sick. And as you probably guessed, yes, the time during COVID was a huge time for Trapland. We had a lot of time to really sink our teeth in this world and actually kind of live here for a little bit. And that was Proudmore Island. Tell me if you like this style of tour, and I will definitely do the rest like this. I'm still trying to experiment to see what works and what doesn't work the best, so if you like something and dislike something about this video, please let me know in the comments below, and tell me, where should I tour next? Thank you for the watch. Oh my god. Thank you for watching.